3 days ago I picked up this swarm in the apiary. You might have seen a video I posted by catching a swarm by hand, where I managed to nab the queen before she got clustered with the rest of the swarm. Put her in a cage and waited for them all to come to me. Caught the swarm on my arm and popped them in the box. So this is a little follow-up 3 days later. We're just going to have a look. We've still got the queen here in the cage, so it's time to release her, and I'll just sort of show you what else has happened in those 3 days since we've put the bees into the box. So in here we've got a hive feeder. I always give the bees a good feed of sugar syrup when I catch a swarm. It's thin sugar syrup, about 1.5 parts water to 1 part sugar. We gave them about 3 or 4 litres 3 days ago. That's empty. It's got a little splash still in the bottom at one end, so pretty well churned through that. The thing about giving them sugar is it allows them to draw out their comb really quickly. So what we had in here was 6 frames of foundation popped in with the swarm. They're ready to draw comb immediately. So let's just see what sort of a job they've done. Usually this one closest to the feeder doesn't get a lot of attention on the outside, but yeah, so they've packed sugar syrup. They've not only drawn out that frame quite nicely, they've actually backfilled with quite a lot of that sugar syrup. The thing about thin sugar syrup is that the bees treat it much like nectar. So they put enzymes into it, and it does that conversion process, converting the complex sugars into simple sugars if they're going to use it in that way. But the main reason we give it to swarms is for this drawing out of the comb. And as you can see, lovely white, fully drawn out comb, both sides of that frame. And once I release the queen, she's going to have plenty of space to lay now, and they are going to be, there's no chance that they're going to abscond from this box, because they've got nice drawn comb. Even if the queen wanted to leave, these bees will not leave. They've started to establish this as their nest, even though there's no eggs in there at this point in time. Partly why I'm wearing my veil today, you know, just a little extra precaution. So let's have a look. Here's our queen in the cage, getting heaps of attention there. So you'll see the queen in there. She's the one with the big long abdomen. Probably really keen to get out at this stage. So let's go and let her into hive. Okay, let's nab her. I'm going to nab her before I pop her in, and I'm just going to mark her with one of our paint markers. Put a red dot on her. And we've just had a worker bee come in and lick some of that off. I need to let that dry. I don't want to leave her in the sun for too long, but I do want to get her dry. So I also put a little red dot on the back of my box just to indicate that I've got a mark in this box. So I'm going to take the feeder out now. We don't need that anymore. They've got plenty of resources there, in there. And what I'm going to do, I've got to fill this space. So I'm going to add a couple of frames of drawn comb here. I don't like adding the drawn comb immediately to a swarm, and the reason being is that the smell of the donor colony is still on these combs, so that can be really off-putting to a swarm. And yeah, so I try to give them fresh beeswax foundation frames initially, and then once they've settled in and I know that they're not going to abscond, then I can add in a couple of extra frames of drawn comb just to give them a really good head start. You might have noticed that we're also using the HiveIQ box here, the new HiveIQ boxes. Just love them. They've got this 40mm thick expanded polystyrene walls, which makes them super insulated, a R rating of about 7.9, which is insane compared to timber, which is I think down below 1. Yeah, so they've worked really well. You might have seen a previous video of ours showing the condensation that convects out the bottom of the hive and keeps them nice and dry, and they can really regulate their own humidity in there without any issue at all. So another cool feature of these HiveIQ hives are the little entrance reducers here, and closer. They've got little magnetic tabs on the middle section. You can shut them down like that, lock them off, close them up completely for transport. Yeah, I love that little feature there. So I'm just going to leave one shut here just so that they don't have to defend too much at the moment. Yeah, you got to love these boxes. If you haven't checked them out already, have a look at the HiveIQ website and get all the rundown on them. Okay, the swarm's in the box. It's day 3. That's the day I released the queen out of the cage. We've given them the rest of the colony time to draw out comb and really settle in. So even if the queen wanted to leave now, the colony won't go with her. They'll stay put. She'll come back. So if I cage that queen for 3 days, I know I've caught the swarm. So if you want any more info on how I go about catching swarms and housing them, I've got an article on our website at hinterlandbees.com. Head over there and have a read through that. Of course, if you've got any questions or tips for that matter, please let me know. I'm always happy to answer any questions that come our way. There's no silly questions, of course. It's all part of the learning process. So looks like we've got a nice happy colony here, ready to hopefully make us some honey. Thanks for watching.